we are here filming for One Vibe Experience, which is an initiative that is a part of One Vibe Africa that aims at bringing, young people from the diaspora to Kenya so that they can visit and reconnect with their roots and culture.
We all spend money on trips and events that we go to, but we never really get anything out of it. You get a great time and then you go back home and that's really it.
I had a lot of interest in coming to Africa initially. I do love to travel, and this was one of the places that I wanted to come see.
It's like a vibration, One Vibe. It's like a vibration.
It started mostly by watching the documentary itself. I think I didn't have...
So this is an 8-minute clip. I'll probably share the link to this whole clip with anybody who is interested in watching all of it. But this is part of One Vibe Experience. It's a documentary that I created as part of the series that I've been hosting, the annual trips that I've been hosting. But today, I'll just start with sharing my hidden travel gem, which is the Komoros Islands. I don't know enough about the Comoros, but I've always been fascinated by the name Comoros, and I've always wanted to visit and learn, because for me the Comoros seems to be very similar to Zanzibar, so I've always wanted to visit just to compare the two, and then to compare both of them to Lamu, which is another island in Kenya that I really love. Primarily what interests me in the Comoros is the historical aspect of it, and also just the beaches and the people and the culture. I'm interested in the music of the Comoros. So that's going to be my first hidden travel gem, and I'll pass it to Joseph to also share his first, his second, or even all three of his hidden travel gems for today. Thank you again for being here with us. Joseph, the mic is yours.
Getting to different locations, but it almost made it
thank you,
better.
Simon.
It gave us
good
more
evening,
of like
good
an
day,
authentic
everyone.
feel to what we were doing.
It's always a great pleasure to be in this room, and I'm always so much anticipating for the room to happen each and every day, but it's only happened once in a week. And right now I'm currently deep into my village, where I came for a wedding. A cousin of mine is getting married, and I told Simon yesterday, I said I can't miss this room for anything, even if I have to climb a tree just to be in this room so that I can share my travel gem with the rest of the people. I will be able to do it. So today, Simon, like you spoke about the Komoros Islands, I'm going to look at Madagascar. I visited Madagascar in 2010, and then I visited Madagascar again in 2012. Madagascar is such a beautiful island. It's in a French colony, and most of the people they speak Malagasy, and they speak French. But when you go, especially at Antananarivo, and a lot of people they speak Malga. But the people are so welcoming, so friendly, and for me, the most beautiful things that I wanted to visit Madagascar wasn't because of the famous Baobab Street, but it was because of the little bush babies. They have a typical little animals with big ears. We call it in French le petit muret, and that was one of the things I always dreamed to see. And when I did my research, I find out that you can see it in Madagascar, and definitely it came into my mind that I need to visit Madagascar. And I find also Madagascar very fascinating. There's an Indian Ocean island, so big, full of diversity, culture. I love their gastronomy, I love their food, how they presented it, how they show it, and I visited some of the best Malagasy chefs and also I was hosted by a family of the people that I didn't even know, but I met the guy on the first day. He was a taxi driver, and I explained to him that I'm from Namibia, and he was like, Namibia, how come you speak French? So that was actually the most finished thing that he said to me, don't even book any accommodation establishment, but come and stay with me at my house. And the mother was making such a beautiful, beautiful Malagasy plate. Each and every day I was treated to a fish. And at the end of the tour, it cost me like nothing comparing to what I could have paid. Until today, I always feel so guilty of accepting their offer, but at the same time, I had no choice. So I will go to my first travel jam today for Africa. It's going to be Madagascar. I thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. This is Simon speaking. I am just grateful to everybody that have joined us here for an amazing session. This session is called The 3 Hidden Travel Gems in Africa, and we just heard from Joseph, who shared with us a lot about Madagascar. And I always love it, Joseph, when you talk about the food culture in these places that you visited across Africa. And I just also love the depth of the way you build relationships with people, because of how you build relationships with people whenever you travel, you also have an opportunity to save a lot of money, but then make lasting friendships so that the next time you go there, you don't even worry about your security, your accommodation, your food. So thank you so much, and thank you for continuing to support this weekly session. It means a lot. I want to welcome everybody in the room, Dr. Wanda, MK, Mama Yama, Michael, Michelle, Nonofo. Feel free to raise your hands and join us on the stage, And then I also want to let you all know that I'm live streaming this conversation on YouTube. If you're interested, I can tweet it, and then you can get the live stream link through Twitter, or I can, link it to the room up above. But if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. I want you to, share with us your comment, share with us your 3 hidden travel gems in case you can't make it to Clubhouse. And I want to pass it to Dana, who is an amazing contributor and also a friend, but also a well-traveled, leader. Dana, share with us, your 3 hidden travel gems, or you can share your first one, and we'll come back to you for your next one. Thank you so much.
Hi, Simon. Thank you. I'm actually out, so I'll start with one, and then you can circle back to me later. So what I'm going to share today is about food too, and I really enjoyed listening to Joseph. So mine is in Shashamene, Ethiopia. And Shashamene is a settlement of Rastafarians in Ethiopia. Initially, I think they were mostly Jamaican, but there are Rastafarians from around the world. When I visited, I've seen some from Martinique and from the UK and Trinidad and from different places in the world. But during a visit there, there's one of the Jamaican restaurants, and it's called Mama something, and I was trying to find it, but I didn't find the name in time. Just absolutely amazing Jamaican food, one of probably the best Jamaican restaurant that I've been to anywhere. And I was just wondering, like, how do you even get all of the ingredients, here in the mountains of Ethiopia? And so in terms of some of the things that I had definitely rice and peas with lots of great homemade juice and desserts, curry goat, and other things. So this is Donna, and that's one of my hidden gems.
Oh, Dana, thank you so much. I love Shashamane. I'm a dreadlocked Rastaman too. And growing up, I was a reggae DJ in Kenya, by the way. So for a long time, I had a lot of conversations with Rastafarians and artists from Jamaica that I had hosted in Kenya and also in Seattle. So I can really, really relate with what you're sharing. Thank you so much. I can't believe it. do you have something else to add? Go ahead.
Well, I'll add another little fun fact. The last time I was there, I actually had dreadlocks. I wore them about 10 years. And
For
so it's
us,
very
we just
funny. So
wanted
in
to prepare
Ethiopia,
ourselves
sometimes people
to
call me
be
Rasta. I
always on
wasn't
the
a Rasta.
move. I think when
But
you come to
in
Kenya,
Shashamene, they knew that
especially
I
this
wasn't a Rasta.
location,
So it's this very funny
you don't
thing
want
of
to take
like
too many
where
heavy
you are and
bags. You
who
want to
you
be
are
able
and
to
how that
carry
shifts,
everything
just in terms
by
of the way people
yourself.
view you.
Always try your best to be portable when you come here. Try your best
I
to take
totally
your
agree. This is
equipment
Simon
and
speaking.
keep things
I
strong.
totally agree. And you know, identity and how people view you, especially if you have, dreadlocks, is like a whole series of conversations we could hold, here on Clubhouse or even elsewhere. But I feel that, Rastafarism and the food that it has inspired globally is just something amazing, and I feel that it's something that needs to be talked about a little more. Welcome, Ella. We are just sharing our first travel gems for today. I shared my travel gem as the Komoros Island, and then we had my brother Joseph. Joseph shared, he talked about Madagascar, and then Dana shared Shashamane in Ethiopia. Now let's hear from you, Ella. You can share with us your first travel gem or all three of your travel gem, and Dr. Wanda, MK, Mamayama, Elago, Michelle, Stephanie, Mimi, Nonofo, everybody else in the room, feel free to join us on the stage, and please ping in one or two people to also join us for today's conversation, which is going to last, we are going to be here for another 45 minutes. So thank you again for your support. Let's hear from you, Ella.
Oh, thank you so much. Goodness me. So perhaps the first one that's on my list has got, well, I'm not sure if you'd call it a gem exactly, but it's certainly on my list, and it has to be Egypt. I think I've spoken about this before, and it's on my list mainly because of the ancient wisdom and the downloads that's been coming to me for many years, particular affinity to the cow-headed goddess Hathor, and really tapping into the mysteries of everything that she offers, often associated also with the goddess Isis. And this is something that I would really love to explore. And we've spoken as well about a few gems in Tanzania, haven't we? And this is something that I would really like to explore as well. Luma is an area that I think you said to me before that once I've visited, I won't ever wish to leave. And so for that reason, I may not visit, but I'll continue to visit it virtually. So thank you so much for this wonderful space, Simon. I look forward to sharing some more later.
Oh, you're most welcome, Ella. Welcome, Sensors, as well. I'm grateful that you're here, Ella. Thank you for your contributions and also for your leadership, in the world, and especially on this platform. This is a space that we've been hosting for the last 3 months. If you tap my profile and go to my last Instagram post, you'll be able to learn a little bit about why we are hosting this space, every single week. And also, if you connect with Joseph, you'll be able to really learn also about why we are passionate about encouraging, inter-Africa travel and bringing people from the diaspora to Africa, and building lasting relationships. So, I urge you to connect with each other, but also pay attention to some of these travel gems that we are talking about today, and, do your research. And when we connect next week, tell us more. Now I want to share my second travel gem, and I'm going to be a little biased. I'm going to go back to Kenya. And, as we are speaking, I am literally live streaming this conversation, and I'm also watching the video of One Vibe Experience, and I also see Ole, who is in the room. My second travel gem is actually visiting the Maasai Village, not the wildlife, but just the Maasai Village, and being there with our brothers and sisters who are part of the Maasai community, learning how to make fire out of two sticks, jumping with them and dancing and singing together with them, and if possible, staying there not just for a day but maybe a week, doing the chores there, going to mail cacao. I think those are the most humbling kinds of travel experiences that I would love to expose people to. So, with that, I share my second hidden travel gem, and I want to encourage everybody else who has just joined us. We are talking about the 3 hidden travel gems in Africa. What are the 3 things that when you think about Africa, you think that these are things that I would love for people to travel to Africa to see? That's the conversation we are having here. And Joseph, before we get to you, I just want to give Ole a chance to speak with us in regards to his 3 hidden travel gems, but also in regards to the Maasai warriors, because I see that he's wearing a Maasai warrior regalia.
Hello, Semo, Mambo.
Poa kabisa.
Hope everybody is good here, and my name is Ole.
We are here filming for One
I'm
Vibe
from
Experience,
Tanzania,
which
East
is an
Africa.
initiative that is a part
You
of
can
One
see
Vibe Africa
the
that
color of my
aims at
flag
bringing
just on my
young people from the diaspora to Kenya,
the stick that
so
I'm
that they
holding.
can visit and reconnect with their roots
The club that
and
I'm
culture.
holding. It's a Maasai
We all spend money on
art
trips
that are
and
done
events that we go to.
by Maasai women.
But
So
we
they're very
never
good
really
in
get anything out of it.
in making
You get a great
some
time,
stuff,
and
like
then you go back
decorating
home,
that
and that's
club
really
and
it.
with my national flag,
I had a lot of
Tanzania
interest
flag,
in coming to
and I
Africa.
put on my traditional
Initially,
clothes,
I do love to
which
travel, and
Maasai
this was one of
shukas,
the
we call
places that
shuka.
I wanted to come
And
see.
It's like a
from
vibration.
Tanzania, as I told you,
One vibe.
Tanzania is
It's like a
one of the
vibration.
countries
It
that
started
in,
mostly
in
by
East
watching
Africa.
the
We
documentary
are pretty
itself.
close to
I think
Kenya,
I
so
didn't have
especially
a
from
very
I, that I
good
live here in
outlook
Arusha.
on
It's
maybe what some of
only
the issues were
3 hours
or
from Arusha,
the work
the
that
capital city
Simon had been doing in
Kenya, which is
Kenya
Nairobi.
specifically. And
And
so after
it's
seeing the documentary, I just felt like
I'm really happy to be here, and let me just speak a little bit about just brief about the Maasai culture, which I belong. The Maasai tribe is one of the tribes that found here in Tanzania. We have
We are
more
here
than
filming for
120
One
tribes.
Vibe Experience,
One of
which
the tribes
is an
is
initiative
Maasai,
that is a part of One Vibe Africa
and
that aims
originally
at bringing
the Maasai did
young
not.
people from the
The
diaspora
tribe
to
that
Kenya,
did it
so that they can visit and
started in
reconnect with
Tanzania.
their
It started
roots and culture.
in Kenya, and Kenya has a
We
lot
all
of Maasai
spend
population
money
compared
on
to Tanzania.
trips and events
Because
that we
the
go to,
trip just started,
but we never really get anything out of it.
we got
You
4
get a
main
great time, and then
clans
you go back
inside,
home, and that's
and all
really
the
it.
clans that are found in Kenya are
I had a
also
lot of
found here in
interest in
Tanzania.
coming to Africa.
So Maasai in Kenya and Maasai in
Initially, I
Tanzania,
do love to travel, and
with
this
the
was one
same
of the
tribe,
places
you have
that I
everything
wanted to come see.
the
It's
same,
like a vibration.
and you cannot
One vibe.
tell
It's
this
like
is
a
a Maasai
vibration.
from Kenya and
It
this is
started
Maasai
mostly
from
by watching the
Tanzania, because
documentary itself.
we belong to
I
the same
think
tribe.
I didn't have
So
a very
I'm
good
happy that
outlook on
Simon, you
maybe
said
what
that
some of the
you
issues
wanted
were
to
or
go to
the
visit
work
one of
that
the Maasai
Simon had
village,
been doing in
and
Kenya
what you have
specifically.
just said
And
that
so
you
after
want
seeing the
to get
documentary, I
the
just
real
felt like
experience to stay
I really
in
wanted
the
to see it
village
firsthand. I wanted to
for
experience
a
it. I wanted to
week,
help in some way if
and that's
possible,
what exactly
and just
we
kind
are
of
doing here.
take on as much of
I
the
own
culture as
also
I
a safari
could
company
from an
I'm a
outside
safari guide,
perspective.
It's like a vibration.
and
At the beginning of
also a wildlife
self-empowerment
photographer. So I
is
own
being
a safari company
conscious about
that
what's going on
operate here in
around you
Tanzania.
and
So
accepting it
we
and then
normally
doing something
take our
about it.
clients to visit the Maasai village. In the Maasai village that the commercial ones, the real village.
For
to get
us,
the
we
real
just wanted to prepare
experience.
ourselves
So
to
we
be
normally
always on the move.
take
I think when you
them
come to
stay
Kenya,
a
especially
minimum
this location,
of 3 or 4
you don't want to take
days
too many heavy bags.
in
You want to
the
be able to
Maasai
carry
village.
everything by
So at
yourself.
least 4
Always try your
days,
best to be
we
portable
can
when you come here.
get the real
Try your best
taste,
to take your equipment
we can feel
and keep things
the
small.
real taste and experience of the Maasai culture.
So we've been gone
Because,
for almost a month now.
our
We
guests
went
will
to
experience,
Lebanon, which is where we're from, and we also went to Indonesia.
all activities
And
are
then
done by
from
different
we went back to Lebanon, and
people,
from there we flew to
because in
Nairobi.
Maasai,
The
every
traveling experience was
age,
great. There
for
were definitely
example,
some
from
hiccups along the way,
age 0 to
getting
age
to
5,
different
I mean from
locations,
age 5 to
but
10, they
it
have a
almost
certain
made it
activity that are doing.
better. It gave us
And
more of
that's,
like an authentic
Depend if they
feel
are
to what we were
males,
doing.
they have a different activity, and if they're like girls, they have a different activity. And if you are a warrior, that means you are above 15 to maybe 30. There's a certain activity that you'll be assigned, or you'll be going to take care of the cattle with the morans, those we call them the warriors. And for the
We are here filming
women's,
for One
you'll
Vibe
help
experience, which
the
is an
Maasai women's
initiative
to
that
do
is a part
all
of One Vibe Africa that
activities in
aims
home,
at
like
bringing
milking,
young people from
cooking,
the
and
diaspora to
washing
Kenya
clothes,
so that they can
going to
visit
fetch
and
water,
reconnect with their
and
roots
so
and culture.
many activities. So in 3 or 5 days,
We all spend
you
money
can
on
get
trips
like a real
and
experience
events that we go to,
Maasai. But for
but
Simon,
we
that you
never
want
really
to
get
stay
anything out of it.
more than 7 days,
You
then
get a great time,
you
and
can
then you go
learn
back
a
home,
lot,
and
and
that's
maybe
really it.
we can also give you, like
I had a
a
lot of
gift
interest in coming
to
to
give you,
Africa. Initially,
you'll belong to a certain
I do love
clan
to
of
travel, and this was
Maasai,
one of the
maybe
places
like
that I
Tayok, just like
wanted to
I
come
belong
see.
to like
It's
Tayok
like a
clan.
vibration.
So
One vibe.
might give you
It's
the
like a
like Tayok
vibration.
clan
It started
after
mostly by
staying with us
watching the
for a
documentary
week.
itself.
So
I
that's
think
just a
I
brief
didn't have
about
a very good
the Maasai
outlook
culture,
on
and
maybe what some of the
let
issues
me
were,
get back
or
to Simon, and
the work that
thank you very
Simon
much to
has
listen.
been doing in
My name is Ole, I'm
Kenya
from Tanzania.
specifically. And so after seeing the
Thank you so
documentary,
much,
I felt
my
like
brother Ole.
really
This is Simon speaking. I'm just so excited to be here, and I'm grateful to everyone that joined us today for today's session, where we are learning 3 hidden travel gems in Africa. This is a space that we've been hosting for the last 3 months. But I've been involved with organizing travel, to Kenya, particularly for the last about 7 years. I've been taking groups of people, artists, innovators, filmmakers to Kenya. And so about 3 months ago, I began, seeking help from other people involved with the travel community globally, and bringing this conversation here weekly. So my hope is that we can grow this. If you know somebody in the travel industry that we need to involve in this conversation, let me know. If you would love to be involved with this conversation as well, also let me know. But one way that you can help while we are right here in this room is to ping in 3 to 5 people to join us. And the way you can ping people in if you're on Clubhouse is that at the bottom of your screen, right next to the microphone where you mute, there's a plus button. You can use that to bring in your friends or people that you feel that would love to learn more about Africa, especially if you're in the diaspora. Many of us miss the motherland, and we want to have an authentic conversation with people that are also thinking and planning, or people that have been to various places that we need to also visit or just talk about. Sometimes everything begins with a conversation. So that's why we are here. And I want to thank you, Joseph, for your leadership. And again, Ole, thank you for your share. I think we are now going to hear from Mimi briefly, and then we'll go to Dr. Goddess and Ron, and then we'll come back up to Sensors and David, who are going to share with us their first hidden travel gem, and then we are going to continue on with our conversation. Thank you so much for being here. Mimi.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me. So, I grew up in Africa, in Burundi, précisément, I will say. And for me, what marked me, you're talking about three gems. The first one for me was the sources of the Nile, which I never knew until I discovered that it was in Rana in Burundi. They had built a pyramid to symbolize the source of the Nile. The second part was in Kenya, the lake Nakuru, with the pink flamingo. And the third one, of course, is Tanzania, with the Mount Kilimanjaro. And these three are my gems. Thank you.
Oh, you're most welcome. I wonder what it has to. I heard you talk of Kilimanjaro and also the pyramids, and I feel that those are very, very iconic African monuments. And Census is someone who is always passionate about such African monuments, and I'm curious what you have to say about that census. So think about it, especially because I think Sudan has some of the oldest pyramids in the world that many people don't even know about. So I wonder if Census later on you want to speak to that. But thank you, Mimi. Now we want to hear from Dr. Goddess. Thank you for being here with us. Share with us your 3 hidden travel gems in Africa.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me on stage. Initially, I just came to listen, but I do have a boutique travel company called A Trip Off the Old Block, and I have a club, but I haven't actually done much with it. It's at the bottom of my profile, but you can see a trip off the old block. And I guess my 3 hidden travel gems are that you can have a really great time going to Ghana and really just eating fresh fish off of the stalls that are there, like in the city. Labadi Beach is not a secret, but it is a gem. And I really, really like, eating on the beach with all of the people there. Like literally you can swim if you want, you can just chill and relax if you want, you can dance. So I appreciate that. And then going to Senegal, I had a really good time. It was an ironic time, but visiting Komoros Island is really important to me as an African American. It was good to see the island in general, to go to the House of Slaves. I learned a lot. It was definitely very meaningful, and it connected me to a part of my history that I had only read about. So I was really appreciative of that, and I think Senegal's House of Slaves is a unique situation because of Senegal's direct role with regard to the transatlantic slave trade. I also love cheboujen, so I could eat that every day. So I'm appreciative of that. And then I think I want to travel to South Africa and just say that Johannesburg's cultural vibrancy is a great hidden gem in Africa. It's I love the Black cultural art space. I love the way that Johannesburg embraces creators and artists, and I have a lot of friends there who they're living their best life in South Africa. So I'm really pleased to talk about those 3 areas. So thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Oh, you're most welcome. Yeah, a lot of the time when you hear people talk about this there are 3 hidden travel gems in Africa. For me, I just have a virtual experience of traveling to these places myself too. So thank you again for being here with us. Ron, I know that you are also a well-traveled individual when it comes to Africa and working with filmmakers and creatives, but you were in Africa from a young age, so I'm sure you have some hidden gems to share with us today. I hope you're doing well. Happy holidays. Share with us your 3 hidden travel gems in Africa, please.
Thank you, and thank you for the room. Yes, some of the places, the three gyms I'll be talking about, you can see in our films at grigorifilms.net, and if anybody is interested, they can back channel me, and I can give you direct links. But our feature film, Mangamizi, the ancient one, we had wonderful locations. The locations of Africa, really, in Tanzania, they are really they are actors in the film itself. One is a place called Bagamoyo, and it can be compared to the Door of No Return in West Africa. Some historians actually say that more captives came out from all the way the Congo, all the way out through Bagamoyo, which in Swahili means lay down your heart, because the captive said if we have to leave our land, we're going to leave our heart there. And our film Mangamizi, the ancient one, is about the diaspora reclaiming their heart on the return of Africa, with Barbara O from Daughters of the Dust playing the African American lead in the film. The other location, which is a gym, we shot the final healing ritual of the film in the Amboni Caves. Near Tonga in Tanzania, and then we also, in climbing the Holy Mountain, we actually climbed Mount Meru to get the shot of Kilimanjaro, which is rarely seen from that angle in the film as well. So the Bagamoyo, there's the Kaoli ruins just outside of Bagamoyo, Tanzania, and then the Amboni Caves, where the freedom fighters of Tanzania actually hid out oftentimes during the fight for independence, and also Mount Meru, which is the sister peak of Kilimanjaro. It's actually older than Kilimanjaro, and it's the cone of the
For us,
more
we just wanted to
ancient
prepare
volcano
ourselves
Kilimanjaro
to be
on the
always
side
on the move.
of Mount Kilimanjaro.
I think when you come to Kenya,
so those are my three,
especially
and
this location,
thank you for the room. I'm
you
Ron,
don't
and
want
I'm
to take
finished
too many
speaking.
heavy bags. You want to be
Wow,
able to carry
Ron,
everything.
thank you. This is Simon speaking. I am grateful for for everything you shared with us. I've been thinking of reaching out to you about films for African wildlife. It's a new movement that I am involved with, but it's led by Dr. Paula Kahumbu. Census is also involved with it, and I created a clubhouse club for them. And one of the things we are looking at is hosting conversations there as well. And if you're interested in being a part of it and potentially co-hosting those conversations, please reach out to me, and Census, please let me know as well. Thank you again, Ron, for sharing with us, your 3 hidden travel gems. And now we want to go ahead and hear from Nonofo. Nonofo, just share with us your first 3 hidden travel gem, and then I want us to run back all the way to Dana so that Dana can share with us her, if possible, Dana, your last 2, and then we'll go to Census. Just share all your 3, and we'll go through everybody on stage and hear all the amazing travel gems that we haven't heard about. And I'm going to turn off hand raising in about 8 minutes. We are ending this room at 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's for everybody who is joining us on Clubhouse. To everybody who is joining us on YouTube, this video is going to be available after this current conversation. And so I encourage you to share with us in the comments, what are your 3 hidden travel gems in Africa? What are the 3 places in Africa that you'd love for people to visit? Do you live there? Have you ever thought about some place that you want to share with us? We want to know, and we want to encourage traveling across Africa, between different locations in Africa, and also between the diaspora and Africa. And, I'm excited to be involved with facilitating travel between the diaspora and Africa, especially through One Vibe Experience. And if you want to learn more about the trip I'm organizing next year around July, please let me know. And I want to pass it to Nonofo. Thanks a lot. Nonofo, you can unmute yourself now and then you can speak and share with us your 3 hidden travel gems if you're available.
We are here filming for One Vibe Experience, which is an initiative that is a part of One Vibe Africa.
Okay. We will give Nonofo time to, to adjust to using Clubhouse. Maybe he's having a hard time unmuting. We'll go straight ahead to Dana. I see that Joseph is back in the room as well. So Dana, I hope you don't mind if we go to Joseph, because he is in the village and we might lose him forever. No, not forever, but for the rest of this session if we don't give him a chance now. Hey Joseph, I really want to ask you to let us hear from Nonofo. Just quickly, Nonofo, go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm excited to be here. It's my first time, and I'll go straight right to it. My first hidden gem, it's in Botswana. It's a place called the Mountain of the Gods, Sodilo Hills. One thing that is intriguing about this place is that it's so mystical, and it has a map of Africa naturally engraved on the walls. You just can't miss it. It is there. That is something that is so exciting about it. Even though there are stories, behind the formation of the hills, it's a tale that is also intriguing. And the tribe that lives around there are actually 3 clans, different clans. This is the Sand people, the first people of the Kalahari. You have the other tribe that speaks a different dialect altogether. And you have different tribes of Sand people that speaks at least 4 different dialects in one place. And it's amazing. The second one is Kigali in Rwanda. What I love about it is the landscape, especially at night when you see the lighting upon those 1,000 hills. It's amazing. Then the third one is Tanzania. Tanzania in Arusha. There's a cultural village there called the Tangeru. What I love most about them is their love for nature and conservation. They plant coffee. They teach you even about the holy mountain, like it has been said, and everything that is happening there. And one thing that is so intriguing is that they call you to come back by saying if you visit their cultural village, they extend an invitation for you to come back and plant a tree on your name.
We just want to prepare ourselves
to
be always on the move. I think when
Thank you so much. I am grateful for everything you shared with us. I'm really intrigued by Rwanda and everything you shared with us about Rwanda too. It's not so hard to get to Rwanda from Kenya. So, sometimes I wonder why I haven't gone there. But I've gone as far as Uganda. So one day, I will reach Rwanda. Now, I just want to check where we are here. I think we're back to Joseph now. Joseph, please grab the mic and share with us your remaining 2 travel hidden gems. And to everyone who is just joining us, we've been here for about 45 minutes, and we've been talking about the 3 hidden travel gems in Africa. We are traveling virtually across Africa, learning a new place from every speaker. And we've gone from the Komoros Island to Madagascar, to Rwanda. So stay with us and please ping in, 3 to 5 people that can join us for today's conversation. Joseph, please grab the mic. This is Simon. I think Joseph is having a hard time with his internet connection. So, while we give him a chance to see if he's going to be available now, I just want to welcome Mr. Oscar also into the room. And Dana, we'll hear from you now while we wait for Joseph to connect.
Thank you, Simon. So it's always so hard to pick. So I'm going to start, actually, I'm going to go back to Ethiopia, a different part of the country now, and talk a bit about the area around the Blue Nile. The Blue Nile originates in Lake Tana, which is nearby. Hello? So that they can visit. They don't hear me.
This is Simon. That's Joseph. I think he was talking, and his connection came back, and he just went for it. So Dana, please go ahead and finish your thoughts, and then we'll check back with Joseph. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yes. And so the Blue Nile, it originates in that area near Bahir Dar, Ethiopia. So northern Ethiopia, so a different part of the country. And so I ended up on the Blue Nile actually because I was visiting some monasteries around Lake Tana. And as you're visiting the monasteries, depending on where you're going, you go on the Blue Nile a bit. And so it's one of the origins, because you have the Blue Nile and then the White Nile, so you have two different strands that then go into the Nile that goes into Egypt. But as you get on the Nile, you see, these things when you hear about the Nile and things that you may have learned in world history about papyrus that they make paper out of, and so all of those things are there. And so I didn't go far along. I wanted to go a bit farther than I did. And the person who was the person on the boat was saying that it was not really a captain, it was a little small boat. But he says, if you go too far, the currents are actually going to push you into Egypt. So we can't go as far as you would like to go. And so that was a very, fascinating experience, because you don't get to go on the Nile every day unless maybe you live in Egypt. And so my second story will be a different part of the continent, in South Africa.
Especially this location.
So in Johannesburg,
you don't want to take
and I
too
should
many
say
heavy bags.
I
you want
work.
To be able to carry everything.
I have a PhD in African history, African studies, and so I've been going to the continent for a long period of time. And I go for different reasons, sometimes for research, sometimes for other types of work. And so during one of my research, I actually was there for something else, but I tagged on some research in Johannesburg.
Lebanon, which is where we're from.
And some of my research has been on traditional healing. And so I've looked at this in different parts of the continent.
We went back to Lebanon,
and so in this case, I was actually in South Africa, and I went to Faraday Market, which is one of the markets, one of the traditional healing markets, and it was just it was one of the best ones that I've seen anywhere in the world, because I've also looked at them in other parts of the world, including the Caribbean and other places. It was a huge market with so many herbs and some things that had been altered, and just one of the most wonderful ones that I've seen anywhere on the continent. This is Donna, and I'm done speaking.
Well, thank you again, Dana. This is Simon. I am grateful. I'm grateful for your share. I'm just so happy that you're here, and I want to learn more. Hopefully, we'll have you again not next week, but the first Wednesday of January. We will be here, and then we'll keep doing it every Wednesday as we are doing it now. But this is the last one for 2021. We've been here for almost 1 hour. So in 14 minutes, we are going to end our session, which is the 3 hidden travel gems in Africa. This session is being recorded for the African Father in America podcast, which is available across all podcasting platforms. We are also live streaming on YouTube as we speak. The YouTube channel is linked at the top of the Clubhouse room. I welcome you to join and subscribe to my channel, so that as we have these, similar events, and also the Daily African Proverbs, which is coming back in January as well, you can tune in and be a part of the conversation. We are also hosting the Africa Day programming that is being led by Sensors and David and a number of our community members. You can follow both David and Sensors and learn more about Africa Day programming. They will be able to speak to it towards the end of our conversation today. So I want to go straight to Sensors. Sensors, please share your 3 hidden travel gems and also talk about Africa Day, why it's important that we have the club, why people should follow you and follow the club and be a part of what we do there. And David, also speak to that briefly, and then we'll go to Ole and Mimi and Dr. Godes, all the way to Mr. Oscar. But Dana, I want you to think about just your closing remarks so that you can close for us, because you are our special guest for today. So we'll go to you, Sensors. Thank you so much.
Hi, thank you, Simon. I'm driving, but I will offer some remarks. And I really like the premise of the work that you're doing with this room. You talked earlier about, kind of bridging the diaspora in a way. And I don't think a lot of people have these conversations, and it's really important because as you listen to me, you probably know that I'm African American, but I've done this work throughout the continent and other parts of the diaspora, and it's really important for us to have these different exchanges and ongoing conversations amongst with each other. Sorry. And so this is Donna, and I'm done speaking.
Wonderful, Dana. Thank you so much. And I agree. I would love to actually connect with you to figure out how we can collaborate, because I am very deeply committed to continuing with the work of being a bridge between the diaspora and Africa, not only through One Vibe Experience and these travel conversations that I organize here every week, and also, twice a year, sometime once a year, bringing people to the continent. I want to engage with you, especially because of your connection to the higher learning institutions, because this type of work could be easily sustained if we partner up with universities and also utilize these spaces as learning spaces as well. These days, and also historically, if you really want to learn African language, culture, history, spend a lot of time with African people in safe spaces like what we are creating. And I feel that it would be amazing for students and even their leaders like yourself to be in these types of spaces. So your presence is much appreciated. Drive safely. Sensors, the microphone is yours.
Hi everyone at the One Vibe Africa Club. Welcome to the 3 Hidden Gems in Africa. I am going to give you my 3 hidden gems today, and starting off is what's known as the source of the Nile in Lake Victoria, which you'll find it in Jinja when you go to Uganda. Jinja is one of the most luscious regions in Uganda. My mother actually went to school also there. It's luscious green, and it's the part of Uganda that has the tea factory and the fruit and everything to do with that kind of production. And when you go there, you get onto the lake, you get to a point which is known as the source of the Nile.
I had a lot of interest in coming to Africa.
So that is one of them. My
Initially,
second one is the source of the Blue Nile, which is in Bahir Dar. When you get to Bahir Dar, there is a beautiful, it's like a hotel by the lake that you get onto, and you get on a boat into the lake, and you can go up to the source in Lake Tana. And within that lake, there is also an island. And this is an island with a monastery, one of the most hidden monasteries in Ethiopia. It has what is known as the original covenant.
I wanted to experience it. I wanted to help in some way if possible.
It also has some of the oldest Bibles in the
take
world.
on as much of the culture as I could from an outside perspective.
That you'll find saved there in the best condition they can. So those are, I think I have mentioned now two or three. Okay. My third is in Arusha. There is a reserve, a nature reserve in Arusha where you
For
can
us,
go
we just
to,
wanted to
and
prepare
it has an
ourselves
old
to be
English
always on the move. I think when you come to Kenya,
estate where you
especially
can
this
go
location,
on
you
the
don't want to take
balcony
too many heavy
and
bags.
just
You want to be able to carry everything
look at the
by
animals,
yourself.
wildlife moving
Always
across
try your
while you
best to be
enjoy some
portable when you come
refreshment.
here. Try
It
your
also
best
has a
to
golf course
take your
if you're
equipment
interested in playing
and
golf.
keep things small.
And Arusha is beautiful. Arusha has some of the oldest
So we've been
coffee
gone for almost a
plantations
month now. We
in
went
that part
to
of Africa.
Lebanon,
So
which is
these
where
are
we're
all
from,
three
and
regions,
we also went to
three
Indonesia.
locations
And
that are
then
all based in
from
East
we went
Africa.
back to Lebanon, and from there we
So
flew to
all of
Nairobi.
those who are
The traveling
interested,
experience was
you
great.
can fly
There were
through
definitely some hiccups
Ethiopian,
along the
through
way, getting to different
Rwanda Air to
locations,
get to any
but
of these
it almost
locations,
made it
through Kenya Airways
better.
as
It gave us
well
more
as
of
South
like an
African
authentic
Airlines. These are
feel to
all
what we were
African airlines
doing.
that operate, and some of them operate between the United States and Africa, or between Europe and Africa. Please do take a trip. Arusha is beautiful. If you get to Arusha, you land at their airport and you go over Mount Kilimanjaro. It's one of the most breathtaking sights in the world, especially in Africa. Now, in terms of our Africa Day Club, we hold an Africa Day Club every Saturday, and we have discussions for about 2 hours, and it's usually 11 a.m. Central Time. These discussions actually come off our original Africa Day, which was held in May the 25th, 2021 this year, where we had a 24-hour marathon. And within this 24-hour marathon, we went across the world to Africans within different regions of the time zone. From the earliest group that would wake up in the Asian region in Australia, following all the way to the Americas, to the last group. And each hour featured a specific discussion on Africa, whether it diverted from issues related to culture, to technology, to environment, to politics, to nature conservation, to renewable energy, as well as natural resources and language. Last Saturday, some of you missed it. We had a really interesting discussion on languages and just understanding the different type of language sectors that exist in Africa, but also traditional old languages that are still being kept alive. With some people who have started creating scripts for their own languages that have disappeared. And including someone who spent time learning one of the oldest language from the kingdoms of West Africa that were there in the past. This type of information is important for two ways. One, for rekindling our understanding of Africa, those of us who are Africans, because as much as we are Africans, we are not fully aware of the whole of Africa as well as what is happening within each section in Africa. Secondly, it's important for reawakening as well as recreating a new image on how do we want to deliver, understand, and redefine Africa as we move forward. Even how do we redefine ourselves as African from our individual countries, region, and culture? And how do we use that to have a holistic relationship with other communities to foster, peace, as well as foster just growth into this new age that the world is moving in? Understanding that Africa is very relevant because of its high population, its diversity, and its traditional knowledge, its indigenous knowledge. So please follow the club. You'll see the Africa map when you go into my profile. Follow that page so that you are informed whenever we have any new discussion. Thank you very much for this time. Thanks to everyone who is here. It's great to have you all. Africa is so rich in terms of its nature, its hidden gems, that if I could, I would love to do a whole documentary moving from one place to the other. This is Census. I am complete.
Thank you very much, Census. This is Simon speaking. I am grateful for everything you shared with us. And I want to quickly ask you, David, to just hold off so that you can be the one sharing with us your the closing remarks, and also adding anything to Africa Day related information that census did not cover. But for now, I do want to invite Ole first to share his remaining hidden travel gem, if there's any, and then Mimi, and then Dr. Godes, Ron, Nonofo, and Mr. Oscar, and then David, you're going to close it out for us today. So we'll start with Ole, and then Ole, just pass it straight away to Mimi. Thank you so much.
So this is Tanzania and that's Kenya.
This is Simon speaking. Since we can't hear from Ole, we will go to Mimi.
We are here filming for One Vibe Experience, which is an initiative that is a part of One Vibe Africa that aims at...
This is Simon speaking. Since we cannot hear from Mimi, we'll go to Dr. Godes. Thanks a lot.
We all spend money on trips.
Yeah, I don't actually have other things to share other than I think everybody should remember that Africa is a continent. There are so many countries worth visiting, 54, 55 that I've heard recently. And they take the opportunity. Take the opportunity. Don't believe the media hype about the continent. Don't believe the negative news reports. Do be careful about COVID and Omicron variant, but just be mindful that Africa is worth visiting. And I think also definitely if you are African American and you've never been to the continent, it's life-changing. So I just wanted to encourage everyone to visit the continent. Thank you.
I really wanted to see it.
Thank you so much. Let's go to Ron and Nonofo and then Mr. Oscar. Thank you so much.
Take on as much of the culture as I could.
Yeah, well, it took going to Africa for me to begin to wake up and get the history at its source. And going back to the source is very healing, and look forward to offering more gems of the blessings I've had and the rockets I've had from Africa.
For us, we just wanted to prepare ourselves,
especially this time of year,
always on the move.
Proverb.
I think when you come to Kenya, especially this location, you don't want to take too many heavy bags. You want to be able to carry everything.
There's no blessing
by yourself.
Always
try your best to be portable when you come.
Sending love and
try your best
healing out
to
to
take your
everybody
equipment and
season.
keep things small.
So we've been gone for almost a month
Thank
now.
you again.
To,
the last gem I'll talk
Lebanon,
about is
where
the
we're
Victoria
from,
Falls
and
in
we also
Zimbabwe.
went to Indonesia.
It has been
And then
standing for a very long time and is still a very beautiful place.
The traveling experience
And I would also
was
like
great.
to take this
There were
time
definitely
also
some
to
hiccups along the
invite all of
way,
us to come and
getting to different
experience
locations,
the
but it
abundance of
almost made it
culture, the
better. It gave
abundance
us
of
more of like an authentic
of
feel to what we were
wildlife, of
doing.
arts and culture and music in Southern Africa, in Botswana, where we will be hosting the first African Cultural Carnival next year in September. Thank you.
I think this is the
Excellent. Thank you so much. This is Simon speaking. Mr. Oscar, I think we haven't heard from you.
So far, it has been amazing. Since,
thank you so much, Simon, for having me on stage and holding this space. It's a beautiful thing when we see and we get to hear about Africa and the gems, the hidden gems. And it's always been a dream that we open up the borders and free travel and free trade between African countries. Having traveled all the way from South Africa, from East Africa where I am, down to South Africa and to the top of Egypt, at the very top, without border restrictions or so much. That would be quite the dream. To have a common language, whether it's Swahili or whichever language it is, a unifying factor. Yesterday I happened to be a room, and I'm so happy to here that were in that room. It's called, blackness as a global, unifying force, unifying all people, all melanated people across the globe, across the globe. So that was quite a noble thing in terms of trade, in terms of travel, in terms of togetherness, and putting aside the things that divide us and coming and realizing that we are a force to reckon with. Maybe if I could talk a bit about where I am, which is North Coast at the Kenyan coast. There's a beautiful spot where you get to walk. It's sandy beach all the way to the coral reef, and you get to see the beauty that is the coral reef, and what it does to the shores, the ecological beauty and wonder and so much benefit. I invite everybody to come over and see what you have to offer. I have had a chance to work in South Sudan, specifically a small village called Gumbo, just before you get to Juba. It has one of the sweetest mangoes I've ever eaten in my life, and such a beautiful place. I met a German couple that hired a van and were traveling the whole of South Sudan to experience the beauty. It's an experience I wish anybody else, everybody else would, get to see. I'd like to talk about is it Sunza Islands?
Being a Kenyan,
some islands in Lake Victoria, but from the Ugandan side. I remember taking a ferry for 1 hour and getting to those islands, and the fish there was magnificent. The beauty being in the islands in Lake Victoria. We also have a few islands also from the Kenyan side. And they are so beautiful. Africa is such a wonderful place, and I invite anybody who hasn't had a chance to travel here to come and experience, the beauty, the cultures, and the togetherness. Ubuntu is something we celebrate, that I am, because we are. There's no separating me from you. Thank you so much, Simon, for holding space and allowing me to speak.
Oh, you're most welcome, my friend, my brother, Mr. Oscar. You are in one of the most beautiful places, in the world. So thank you for sharing that beauty with us, and also thank you for sharing, that you love mangoes. I do love mangoes too. It's just amazing that you found the tastiest mangoes in the middle of South Sudan. It's quite fascinating to imagine what the world will look like when we start getting some of the produce from a place like South Sudan, when we have peace there, and when we have, a train that goes from Mombasa or Lamu all the way to South Sudan. It's people are going to experience Africa in really amazing ways. Anyhow, if you're just joining us, first I want to give Nikki there a shout out for joining us for this conversation, and Wanda and John and Jean, Jale, Bibi, DJ, Manona, MK, Dr. Wanda, Charlotte, and also Dr. Peter. We host this space every single week at 1:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here in the One Vibe Africa Club, and we also live stream these sessions on YouTube. We are live streaming now, and if you want to connect with me over there, the link is at the top of the room here on Clubhouse. And we talk about travel, the 3 hidden travel gems in Africa, and we've been doing this for over 3 months now. I personally organize a trip every year, and that's part of why I organize this space, so that we can, talk about places we want to be to, places we've been to, and also go to places together. So that's part of the motivation to create this, consistent conversation around, the 3 hidden travel gems in Africa. Now, we've heard from everybody who has been with us for our entire 1 hour. And now I want to pass it to David to share with us, oh, Joseph is back. So Joseph, please share with us your remaining hidden travel gems. I know that you're in the village, and Joseph is also a co-creator of this space. I want to give you a moment, and then David is going to close it for us. But I want to give Gray a shout out to Gray. Thank you again for being consistent in showing up and supporting this amazing space. One day we will travel to Africa with you in person. Right now we'll take you there virtually. Mr. Joseph, the mic is yours.
Thank you, Simon. I've been really fighting for this network because I missed this room, just for a second. But I couldn't hear, I couldn't hear anybody sharing the room with me. I feel a little bit lost, My second travel gem, I'm gonna go with Skeleton Coast in Namibia. Skeleton Coast in Namibia is one of the most remote area you find in Africa. Been visited African countries for the past 19 years. I find Skeleton Coast just in a different place. People call it Skeleton Coast. It's not because you find human skeletons in the area. In Skeleton Coast, the new discovery is that we find one of the biggest, largest elephant graves. We wonder how or what happened to the elephant that they had to go in such a remote area to die. And we find one of the oldest boats in the Skeleton Coast, which was actually used as a rescue boat. It got stranded in the Skeleton Coast. And we find also an airplane, during the liberation struggle or during the war of resistance in Angola. There were some Portuguese soldiers who got also stranded in the Skeleton Coast, and they were rescued by a South African airplane. And the airplane, after the rescue mission, it also got stranded in Skeleton Coast. So the place is really, really, you have to search for this hidden gem. You have to really have a proper trained guide who can be able to show some of these hidden gems. And out of that, you find one of the most beautiful 5-star lodge in the middle of the dunes, hidden in the middle of nowhere. But you can have a 5-star service in a Skeleton Coast. It's really not really that many companies here in Namibia can be able to offer such a service because of the restriction that the government put. One has to understand that Namibia, since its independence in 1990, we have put in our constitution protection of our nature and natural ecosystem that we have. So it's only 2 companies that can be able to do tours in this remote area. And when you look at the geological of the sands that you find also in Skeleton Coast, you find a thin, very thin, like powder kind of sand, something that is really finished to everybody. And then you find some of the areas you find green, you find like green, quite green of sand in the area for more than 200 kilometers. So the size of this national park, because it's a national park today for us, it's almost about 160 over 425 kilometers large. It's all the northern part of Namibia, from the Kunene River up to the Ugab River, and you find the gates of Skeleton Coast. If you just Google right now, you say Skeleton Coast, you're gonna see one of the biggest gates with 2 heads of humans, and it's right in Skeleton Coast. But once you enter into that place, the geology, the history, the artifacts that you can be able to come into those, and the desert adapted elephants that are still roaming in those Skeleton Coast. We have lions, we have hyenas, especially the brown hyena. They love this area. Vegetation, you can be able, if you are a flora lover, you can visit this area, especially in October. You have flowers everywhere. Such a beautiful place. So I'm gonna go for Skeleton Coast today as my last and second travel gem for Africa. Thank you, Simon, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Joseph. Thank you for your commitment to this weekly conversation. It's amazing that you are deep in the village, but somehow you found a way to be involved. It means a lot. Also, Joseph, before you go, one of the things, because I won't be hosting this session again until next year, one of the things I've enjoyed listening to you say since we started having this space with you involved is that you love talking about food, and the way you describe food, the gastro, and it's just amazing. So I hope that somehow we find a way for you to start hosting a food travel related room, maybe here in One Vibe Africa, or we just need to create space for you to talk more about food, because I'll be your biggest fan when you start doing that. And now, David, you can close us out with your hidden gems and also your information about the Africa Day programming here on Clubhouse.
Hi, Simon. Thank you for giving me the opportunity, and also thank you. I see very familiar faces here. I see Sensas, Donna, Dr. Goddess, Mimi, Mr. Oscar, Nolofo, Joseph, and also Rob. And also let me take time to acknowledge those of you who are in the audience listening and followed by speaker. It's really great to be here, and all of you are welcome. And thank you for joining us. I will quickly share my three gems, hidden travel gems in Africa. The first one was actually shared by Loco, but I would just add a little bit because this is a place that I really want to go. I've never been there before, Victoria Falls. And I've been really looking out and seeing what I can learn from this place. And they have the name for the waterfalls, like the smoke that thunders. It can be heard 40 kilometers away. It can go up to 400 meters. So I really think that is a beautiful place to go into. I'll definitely, hope that one day, Simon, you and me and all of you can travel over there and just enjoy the beauty of nature and also ecosystem. So that is my first one. The second one that I've also been looking around and seeing if I can, get time to go there is River Congo. It's one of those rivers which is very diverse, starting from, I think, Zambezi. It's the second longest river in Africa, just shorter than River Nile.
Us, we just want
and the reason why I look into this because I just think that it's a really wonderful, diverse place. It crosses, I think, almost 7 cities, including Kinshasa, Kisangani, I think Boma also. But the diversity of the river is really what makes it really interesting, and I hope that one day I could travel along that river and cross these cities and see the things that goes on and also how it has also impacted the nature around that area. And not to forget, I do really love adventure, so you can see I'm just looking into some of this natural beauty that we have in Africa. So I can't forget Mount Kilimanjaro. I've been always planning and see if I can climb it from Tanzania side. I've been to the Kenyan side from Loitoktok, around Rombo area. Normally when we are students, we used to go there for team building, so I know that part. But I would really like to climb it, and I hope also that could be an opportunity for maybe a teamwork to go in there and see if we can climb up to some of the peaks in Mount Kilimanjaro. But I don't want to forget other mountains in around East Africa. We have also Mount Kenya, which is great in Kikuyu land. We have also Mount Elgon, which is somewhere in between the border of Uganda and Kenya is Luya. Those are also great places that you can really do some adventure. So those are the three gems I want to share today. I know I keep adding, so today I'm sharing the three, but I think I shared three earlier, so maybe I now have 6 of them, and they keep growing, which is great, and hopefully I can do all of them,
saw
you know,
everything we came to see,
have an
and
opportunity to
more.
visit all the jams that I've shared here.
We also visited the Maasai Village.
Regarding
We
Africa
got to
Day,
see a
I
little
first
taste of
really
how
want
they live
to
and who
start
they
that,
are.
you know, there are
It's
quite a
very
lot of
natural place to
treasures,
be,
creativity,
and
and a lot of
just
productive
chilling. How
activities
much
that is
you
going
enjoy
on in
all these
Africa right
places.
now. And I really like this space because we are sharing, and also the Africa Day space because it's a reflection of what is happening in Africa. Right now, it is the youngest continent. We know that I think average age is around 19 years old. So you can imagine what that is. And also, there's a lot of stuff that goes on over there. There's family, there's technology. And the whole idea about Africa Day is then how do we really collectively address some of these issues? How do we make sure that we can capture the real growth of Africa and create some awareness? So we started Africa Day so that we can create awareness, so that we can talk about Africa in a positive way, so that we can share, you know, things that would attract people into Africa, but also just be Africa the way we are Africa. There is that Kiswahili word that says Africa is Hakuna Matata, basically means there is no worry there. And how do you bring that out, you know, as Africans? So I think, you know, the arts that we talk about, we all know is beautiful. We know the music too is great. There are several types of music like Ohangla, Sikuti. I always point those out, especially the traditional ones. We have the Rumba, we have all types of dances. If you go to Ethiopia, you get the head dance. If you go to a place like in the coast, we have belly dances. In the western, we have shoulder dances. We really need to experience those. And when we talk about Africa Day and when we reflect and we talk about these things, it really brings the real Africa to people so they really understand what is Africa. So that's the reason why we do Africa Day. And I'm always happy to be there because I know collectively we can bring a different picture of what Africa is. Collectively, we can also create engagement. We can create participation that is reflective of our lifestyle. We can also encourage the youth, you know, to start being more positive, start owning businesses, and start boldly kind of addressing or embracing the 21st century. So that's why we do Africa Day, and I know that already some has already been shared by Cesar. The time is normally Saturday. It's noon EST or 11 a.m. EST or 9 a.m. 11 a.m. CST and 9 a.m. PST. And with that, I thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, David. This is Simon speaking. I am grateful to all of you for being here with us for the last hour and almost hour and a half, really. And for those who are meeting me for the first time, I am based in Seattle, Washington, but I'm from Kenya originally, Kisumu, Kenya, next to Lake Victoria. And I'm the host of the African Father in America podcast, where you can find this conversation later on. You can also find this conversation here on Clubhouse through replay, and we will be sharing the replay on Twitter in a moment. And also, I have been live streaming this conversation on YouTube. If you want to check out the live stream, it's at the top of the room. And that's also where most of the sessions I host here on Clubhouse, especially the daily African proverbs, the Africa Day sessions on Saturdays, can also be found there. Now, I want to wish you all a wonderful holiday season with your families. This specific session, 3 Hidden Travel Gems in Africa, is going to come back on January 5th. So spread the word and think about your 3 hidden travel gems for that. The first session in January, we will be bringing in guests from across Africa. For example, right now I'm talking to the chairman of the of the Western travel circuit in Kenya. That's like half of Kenya, from Kisumu, the Lake Victoria region, to Kakamega, to Mount Elgon that David was mentioning. So the person who leads all hotels and tourism activities in that region is going to be our guest on that day, and we will continue bringing in people who do similar work. Like Joseph is one of the travel experts from the continent that we have here, and we always have others, but now we are going for people who are doing even bigger work across the continent. Again, Dana, thank you for being our special guest today. I really hope that we see you again on January 5th, if possible. And thank you all so much. This is the end of our session today. Take good care of yourselves.
Thank you, Simon, and thank you, everyone. Have a lovely day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are here filming for One Vibe Experience, which is an initiative that is a part of One Vibe Africa.
The clip I'm playing is from the One Vibe Experience travel trips that I've been organizing. So in just 30 seconds, we'll be closing.
We all spend money on trips and events that we go to, but we never really get anything out of it. You get a great time and then you go back home and that's really it.
I had a lot of interest in coming to Africa initially. I do love to travel, and this was one of the places that I wanted to come see.
It's like a vibration, one vibe. It's like a vibration.